thank you so much for everyone for showing up to the final session of our memorial event that's celebrating the life and work of Eric Grimm, who's been very influential for all of us as individuals and as a field. Um, I first want to say a massive thank you to the people that have made this possible. Suzette Flanto has been part of this from the beginning, and she's been at every single talk since what would be in the middle of the night for us in the American time zones. Jack Williams also was very instrumental in helping put this together, as well as our many regional leads, Naoko Sasaki, Hikaru Takahara, Simon Haberle, Graciela Gil Romero, Thomas Giesecke, Will Gosling, Claudio Latorre. None of this would have been possible without all of their help. And so it's really been a global community's labor of love to share all of this with you. And I really hope that it is as impactful for everyone that comes as it is for many of us that are participating. So just a little bit about Eric. He was born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1951. He grew up in the Black Hills near Rapid City, South Dakota. And there's where he really sort of fell in love with the natural environment. And that led him to pursue a PhD at the University of Minnesota, where he was awarded his PhD in 1981 after studying under Ed Cushing, where he investigated the Holocene environmental history of the big woods forests of southern Minnesota. Following his PhD, he postdoced at University of Cambridge and the University of Minnesota, where during this period in the 80s, he really started developing the suite of applications that would become Tilia, which revolutionized how paleoecologists and palynologists plotted and interpreted their data. So really revolutionized the field very early on. In 1987, he started working for the Illinois State Museum, during which period there's a rapid expansion of his work revolving around making sure that Tilia was available to students and professionals around the world. And he really started pushing his love for open source research, essentially leading him to be the champion of essentially a grassroots empirical paleoecological movement. And he means so much to the field, and we're going to hear a lot about his research and his legacy shortly. But to many of us, Eric will be remembered for how he worked with people, just being such a genuine, kind person, as well as an amazingly humorous person. In truth, there are very few people that can influence an entire field of science as Eric has, while being such a genuine, humble, kind, caring, and funny person. And while I have a fixed audience, I do want to share one story that I think exemplifies all of this. Actually, from the last time I got to spend time with him at the International Quaternary Association in Dublin. We were at an apartment that I was sharing with Kathy Whitlock, Sherilyn Fritz, Dave McWethy, Bob Griswold, and we were deep involved in this existential conversation of, man, what am I gonna do once I finish my PhD? But of course, Eric taking the higher and lighter road after being involved in this discussion kind of circled back to my dissertation defense itself. Uh, and our conversation spiraled into a 20 to 30-minute talk about what would be the best way for me to integrate movie quotes from The Big Lebowski into my dissertation defense. I may have chickened out during my defense at doing this, but with all of you as my witness, I promise to work in as many Big Lebowski quotes at my next real presentation. So I will do that for Eric. So with that said, Eric obviously meant so much to all of us as a scientist, as a husband, as a father, as a mentor, as a friend. Um, and I really am looking forward to hearing what all of you have to say about his life and legacy. So before I turn the mic over, I just want to say a few housekeeping things. Please make sure to stay muted unless you are actually supposed to be talking. We do have two different open mic sessions. The first one's only 30 minutes, but the second one is a little bit more open-ended. We had a few people contact us ahead of time to say that they wanted to talk, so we will reach out to them first, and then if and when there's time, we will move on to anyone. So please feel free to mention in the chat or reach out to our email to say, hey, I want to talk. And we will turn the reins over to you for a few minutes so you can pass on your remembrances. We will post the link to the website in the chat as well. And you'll find the link to the email address where you can send us more photos, such as the ones that you are seeing right now, which we're very appreciative of. Definitely, Kathy, Rolf, please mention your GSA session. There have been loads of contributions to the remembrance of Eric and his legacy, and we are not the only event that will be happening. And finally, AMQA has a memorial fund that will go to fund the next generation of paleoecologists. So if you are feeling generous, please visit that site and donate in his honor.